Good morning everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to mix some greens with a couple of yellows, one with cadmium yellow and one with lemon yellow. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different blues, and I'm going to show you a range of greens with these blues. Please subscribe to my channel, send me some questions and comments if you fancy as I'm going along, and I'll try and answer all questions as soon as I can. So I've got some Winsor & Newton cadmium yellow here, and a small pot of water and a small brush, and I'm just going to take a small blob on the end of my brush and I'm going to move it over to the ultramarine here, and I'm going to take a dot of water and I'm going to pick up one dot of, if you can see that, one dot of ultramarine blue and mix it into the yellow, and that's the colour you should get. Okay, and I'm going to take another dot of water, a really small dot of water, and another dot of ultramarine blue, and add it, and continue like that. Just a small dot of water, small dot of blue into the same mix, and as you go you can see those greens will intensify down the palette. Small dot of blue, each time just adding a small dot of water as well, just to loosen the mix up. And you can see that the colours get more and more intense as you're going along, to the point where they get to be almost blue. So at that point I would stop. Okay, so I'm going to wash my brush off completely. I'm going to take another blob of cadmium yellow, and then I'm going to repeat the exercise with each. So one dot. So this is now intense blue. One dot of water. Now you can see that the colour change is quite rapid with this intense blue, mainly because it's got more pigment in it. But you can see that the greens are coming out really vivid in colour as we go down the strip into more addition of blue. So you can see already we've now got a series of very different greens. So again, I've got cadmium yellow and then into Winsor blue. So this is Winsor blue, small dot of water, small dot of water, small dot of blue. And again, Winsor is quite strong in pigment, so you're going to get these really intense greens. And obviously if you thin them down with more water, you would get more of a tonal difference. There. We're almost at blue again. So next colour is, make sure you start with clean water I'm going to move that round. Next colour is indigo blue into that yellow. Make sure you mix your colours well when you add your blue tone in, so they don't come out patchy like that one did. So a little dot of water. Now, oops, see that one I didn't mix properly, so that's come out wrong. So in with, mix it really well. Like that. And you can see the change is quite rapid again with the indigo, because the indigo is very strong, and we're almost black to blue there, so I'll stop. Indigo is very strong again. Phthalo next. Clean water, small dot of water, small dot of colour. Phthalo. So phthalo again is very strong, so be very careful with your addition of blue, so you get a nice progressive change through the greens. Now these intense greens, the ones that are more inky because of the blue, the inky blues, you would probably be more likely to use them for fir trees, winter trees, winter foliage, winter shrubs, that sort of thing. So now we're into Prussian blue, and again this is a really intense blue. So we start off with the cadmium again, add a small dot, small dot. It's really useful to have these charts within easy reach, because it's very, very easy just to use your greens straight out of your pans or out of your tubes, the ready mix greens, and they tend to be really, really, really strong. Even with those, I will mix them down with something. It's rare that you would use them straight out of the tube. So get used to mixing your own greens, because as you can see, they are building up. Huge variety there. Now we're going to make a change, and we're going to go into our lighter blues. So again, clean water into your cadmium yellow, and small dot of, we're now into our cobalt blue, and you'll see the difference straight away with these colour mixes coming out of the cobalt. You'll find that the colour change is much more subtle and much more gentle in tone, and also much more useful. Again, the colour mixes do vary according to the brand of colour that you're using, so always be aware of that. I'm hoping that that's still in shot. So we're into our cerulean blue. The cobalt and the cerulean and the ultramarine are the colours that you would find in most sets, pan sets. If you buy a mixed colour, you will find in your tubes and in your pans that you'll have cadmium yellow, lemon yellow and cerulean blue, cobalt blue and ultramarine. So those are the most common yellows and blues. So even with those 3 or 4 colours, you should be able to get a good range of greens. So keep mixing, just push that over slightly so you can see what I'm doing. I will put up a final image at the end with close-ups of these colours so you can see a little bit more clearly. I'm not mixing my colours well there. Let's add a bit more in. Mix it well. And you can see how different they are in subtlety to these ones over here. Okay, so there we've got 8 colours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're looking at 80 different greens there for you to work with. And that's just using your basic ranges, really. Most people wouldn't necessarily have the Windsors and the Phthalo maybe and the Intense, but you definitely have the other colours in your sets. So have a play with your cadmium yellows. So I'm just going to clean this palette quickly, and I'm going to start colour mixing down my using the lemon, and you'll be able to see the difference between the lemon and the cadmium now. So I've got some Reeves lemon yellow here. Oops. And as you can see, there's a bit of goo at the top of the tube. This is only because the tube hasn't been used for a while and it starts to separate. So don't worry about things like that. You can always mix it back in again. Okay, so let's start again. So now we've got the lemon yellow, and it's a Reeves. The little notes on the palette here indicate, so this is Winsor and Newton, we've got Reeves, and we've got Dale Rowney there as well. So they're different brands of paint. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to take up a bit of the ultramarine, put it over here, mix in a small dot of lemon yellow with ultramarine. I'm just going to put, before I do that, I'll put a little flash of the lemon here so you can see the colour. Okay, so just take a little bit more lemon there. I'm going to need a bit more than that. So 1 dot of blue into it. Dot of water. I'm talking about really small dots of water as well. Don't thin this paint down too much with water. A bit more ultramarine. And you'll see with the addition of lemon here now that you'll start to get some much more acidic greens coming out. But they are beautiful. But you have to be careful with their usage. Lemon yellows tend to be used on foliage and trees and things in the early spring time. So we're getting down to our greens there. And cadmiums tend to be used for more summery. So again, a little dot of lemon yellow and into the Intense. Now remember, this Intense blue is really strong, so I'm just going to wipe a little bit of it off before I put it into that yellow, and maybe add a little bit more lemon in that top side, just because I don't want the jump to be too quick. So this is the green with Intense blue. Mix it in again. So this is lemon yellow with Intense blue. And again, a little bit more. And a bit more. Now we can go in with a bit more. Ooh, see how quick that goes? See how strong it is? Be very careful. But again, it makes up a beautiful blue-green there. So I think we're as dark as we're going to get there now with that intense. You're going almost into turquoise there. So again, wipe your brush off, take a good amount of the lemon and into this Windsor blue now. So this is Windsor blue and lemon yellow. Small dot of, trying not to take too much paint up too quickly. This can be quite therapeutic to do a sheet of colour mixing before you start your day of painting. It just focuses the mind a little bit, and we're almost now into again that intense blue colour. Okay, again, wipe your brush off, take a blob of the lemon, add a tiny dot of indigo, so we're into indigo now. Move that plate around. Try not to take too much pigment up. I'm using tube paint here, so it tends to be a little stronger than the pan colour that comes out. So if you're finding that your colour mixes are not moving along quickly enough, then just add a little bit more paint into the mix. Or if you're not getting the strength of pigment, but like I said, out of the tube it tends to be much stronger, the pigment. So we're going down and into that really lovely, almost grey-green colour now, which I really like. Phthalo tends to have quite a lot of, it has some black in it, so that's why the grey-greens are coming out. Sorry, indigo tends to have a lot of it, the same way as the phthalo does. Oops, wrong yellow. Just going to take up the lemon, forget to do so I've got lemon here, running out of space, and I'm into the phthalo now. Again, very, very intense, as you can see. So I'm just going to pop some more yellow back into that. So this is phthalo with lemon. I jumped quite quickly there with the addition, so there might be that it would have been useful to have some more yellow in that mix, but let's carry on. It might be that we don't have to mix too many. Into the more phthalo. And you can see we're getting some similar mixes. In the beginning with the cadmium, the greens are quite different, but as we mix down, you can see that the phthalo starts to take over and becomes more like the end of the phthalo mix, even with the cadmium. So last strong blue we've got is Prussian. So again, a little bit of the lemon yellow. Make sure you get rid of your blobs, and then in with a dot. So this is Prussian yellow mixed with, sorry, Prussian blue mixed with lemon yellow. Dot of water, dot of colour, dot of water, dot of colour. Mix it well. quite windy here today. Bit cooler than it has been the last few days. But I think we're heading for more heat again, which is great. At least we can get work done. So we can see the lovely Prussian blue greens that are coming out here. Okay, now into cobalt. Clean your brush off well. I'm just going to separate these two bits off here now. We'll have one side for the cerulean and one side for the... So into our cobalt blue colour. So little dot. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. It was a bit soon, but so I'll mix it into the left a bit there. Little dot, mix that in. A little bit more. A little bit more. And you know, this is just incredible, the amount of greens that are coming out of these colours. You know, you could go on and on and on, and just thinning them down with water will give you different tonal values. So, you know, you've got lots to play with here. And this is without using any other yellows. I mean, you've got a range of yellows as well. You've got Gamboge yellow. You've got yellow ochre. You've got raw siennas. You've got all sorts to play with. So that's the cobalts. And then we're into the ceruleans. So into the cerulean. And then obviously on top of that, you've got your ready mixed, pre-mixed greens as well. Sorry about the grinding noise. He's been going all day, this guy. So, you know, just try and mix with a few colours and see what you get. And then you can play with your ready mixed greens on top of that. And then on top of that, you've got things like the addition of things like Payne's Grey. Payne's Grey throws out loads of beautiful greens. And you've also got the addition of browns to knock colours back. So there we have it. There is our finished colour mixing sheet. I'm hoping you can still see. Yeah, you can. That's good. So have a go at mixing your greens up. It's a really lovely exercise to do and quite fun. Get yourself a nice big palette to work on, and if these dry off, then it's no bother. They will work again later on. You can leave the palette as it is, use the greens in a painting, come back to it. Make sure you label your colours. It's a really good exercise to label your colours. Thanks very much for watching. Sorry about the noise at the end. Please subscribe and share this video with everybody that you know. They're free for the moment, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks. See you later.